fraternity prepares for an annual tub push, and 2 bodies are found in Marquette have been identified.
Later in the show, Ross Ray will have your weather and Caleb Rydell will have your sports. Hi, I'm Alexis Ham.
And I'm Caleb Rydell. Welcome to Public Eye News. Northern Michigan University physical geography class recently took to the parking lot to show off a demonstration on how destructive volcanoes can be. Extremely hard to observe, volcano eruptions are difficult to predict and therefore are hard to study, especially from a safe distance. The GC 100 class took to the Jamrich and Hedgecock facility lot with a barrel, a soda bottle, some liquid nitrogen, and water. Liquid nitrogen boils at a temperature of -900 degrees, so rapidly cooling the nitrogen that was put in a soda bottle simulated a volcanic eruption. This simulation, put together by Assistant Professor Hans Lechner, was an attention-grabbing way of showing off the force of eruptions and had the students mapping the aftermath of the explosion. The Northern Michigan University Theta Iota chapter of Tau Kappa Epsilon are holding their annual fundraiser, a unique way of raising money. The fraternity is doing their so-called tub push again. Strapped to the wheels in a tricycle style, a bathtub will be hand-pushed by members of the fraternity 165 miles from Sault Ste. Marie to Marquette. The tub push is a fundraiser for St. Jude's Children's Hospital and the Youth and Family Center in Marquette, accepting donations before and after the push and hoping to raise $4,000 this year. The push will start Friday morning and is expected to move the tub to Marquette within 36 hours.
And the identities of the 2 bodies found in the city of Marquette have been confirmed. Marquette Police Department released the identities of 31-year-old Adele Renee Winter and 29-year-old Mark Allen Bibler II. Winter and Bibler were found in their home at 911 Sherman Street on Monday, October 21st. Cause of death remains unknown and the investigation is ongoing. And on Wednesday, October 23rd, Kingsford Public Safety responded to a 2-car accident on the corner of Westward Avenue and Pile Drive that left 1 person injured. The incident resulted from a westbound vehicle on Pile Drive that neglected to yield the right-of-way to a vehicle traveling north on Westwood Avenue. The northbound driver rolled onto its roof due to the collision and was treated by the Beacon ambulance staff and transported to the Dickinson County Hospital for further treatment. As for the westbound driver, they were left unharmed and received a citation for failing to yield. The names of these individuals have not been released.
The most common service and emotional support animal in the U.S. is making its way into the UP school system. In the Iron Mountain Public Schools, they are shaking things up, and now once a week, classes in grades 5 through 12 have a chance to sign up to have Retta, a therapy dog, stop by their class for an hour. In an effort for students and teachers to de-stress and decompress, Retta, the black lab, shows up so the students can pet and hang out with her. Retta has been coming around since the beginning of the year and is hopefully going to be sticking around for a while. An iron ore mining and processing company, Cleveland Cliffs, has just updated the public on their operations during the 3rd quarter. Operating low cost made it possible for the company to achieve increase to profitability in the 2nd quarter. Currently struggling to keep up with China's steel prices, as foreign steel is believed to be produced without much regard for safety or environmental protection, leading to lower prices. Also mentioned by Cleveland Cliffs was the expected completion of the hot briquette iron furnace in Toledo, which will be extremely beneficial, as Cliffs is the only producer of hot briquetted iron in the Great Lakes region. The company has said that they will be operating for years to come as they will continue to adapt and evolve. And after this break, we'll have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Rothko is one of our great American artists.
American Masters presents Rothko.
He was a master of color.
Mark Rothko, the celebrated painter,
experimenting with the look of art,
and his creations.
They enticed us visually to enter them.
He wanted the viewer to see what the painting brought out in them.
Kind of a Zen experience.
Join us for Rothko.
Pictures must be miraculous.
On American Masters.
Friday night at 9 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back. The South is finally starting to see some relief after a flash drought that has heavily threatened crops and began to ignite wildfires. An assessment from the National Drought Mitigation Center claimed that more than a quarter of the Southeast was drought-free, an improvement of more than 10 percentage points within a week. This is all due to heavy rains from Tropical Storm Nestor, which deposited as much as 5 inches of rain in some areas. Even so, more than 25 million people are continuing to be affected by the drought throughout Texas and the Southeast. And residents say the trash debate in St. Paul has taken an ugly turn. Police say they're investigating racist letters and a threatening voicemail left for the city's first African-American mayor. WCCO's Reg Chapman talked to Melvin Carter about how he handles these personal attacks.
While police work to find who's responsible for threatening the mayor, Melvin Carter is busy at his usual duties. He says his staff cannot afford to focus on the negative stuff.
We're focused on continuing to move forward the vision that the voters and the taxpayers of the city have sent us to move forward.
The threats are connected to a vote next month where residents could throw out a new system to pick up trash. The city says property taxes will go up if that happens. Two notes included racial slurs and a voicemail threat said if the levy goes through, the mayor may need bulletproof glass at his home.
More than anything, I think it's regrettable that there are those of us who have fallen for the trick that if we disagree with each other over policy, we have to be hateful and vindictive toward one another.
So I feel like it's more personal than anything.
Inside the Grooming House barbershop in St. Paul, the discussion was all about threats against Mayor Carter. All agree racist name-calling and making threats will not solve the issue.
It's disrespectful. It's really, for them, I feel like anyone that would go as far as to do that, it's not as much about the trash as it is about just how they feel about the fact that you got a black man making those types of decisions.
We always have those that disagree and they go about it the wrong way. Sending threatening letters and stuff like that, that's not going to help. That's not going to make anybody unified.
Mayor Carter says the threats will not stop him from striving to make St. Paul a city that works for all of us.
I don't see those threats or those kind of messages as representative of who we are as a city.
Reg Chapman, WCCO 4 News.
Bolivia's presidential election Thursday is showing that the current president, Evo Morales, has won the position back for a fourth straight term. Declaring himself the outright winner before all the votes have been counted may be preemptive, though, as there are still 1.6% votes that need to be counted, and while Morales has 46.8% of the votes comparative to his opponent and former President Carlos Mesa's 36.7%, in Bolivia, presidential elections must have a winner receiving the most votes while still being at least 10% more than the next highest voted candidate. Only currently being 1.1% above the threshold may have Morales taking back his victory and going to round 2 of elections. And President Trump is turning to fellow Republicans to push back against the Democratic-led impeachment inquiry. The GOP controls the Senate, where the action is planned today, and dozens of House members delayed a hearing yesterday. Katherine Johnson has more details from Capitol Hill.
Senate Republicans are introducing a resolution today condemning House Democrats for conducting closed-door depositions as part of the impeachment inquiry.
To urge the House Democrats to give the same rights to President Trump as Clinton and Nixon had, to not do this behind closed doors.
House Republicans staged a protest yesterday, storming the secure briefing room where the interviews are happening. They refused to leave for 5 hours.
What are they trying to hide from the American people that they won't allow voting members of Congress to hear what's going on in that room?
Democrats say the closed-door hearings are standard and necessary to keep witnesses from coordinating their testimony.
When the investigation is done, there'll be public hearings. That's how it's always been done.
Republicans from 3 House committees are also participating. While lawmakers squabble over the impeachment inquiry process, congressional investigators are looking into whether President Trump may have pressured Ukraine's new president even before he was sworn in. CBS News has learned Ukrainian President Zelensky met with his top aides back in May for 3 hours to discuss how to avoid getting involved in American politics. President Trump and his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, wanted Ukraine to investigate an energy company former Vice President Joe Biden's son Hunter worked for and look into a debunked conspiracy theory about the DNC's computer server hacked in 2016. The Associated Press says Zelensky cited a congratulatory phone call with President Trump as the source of his unease.
The Ukrainians didn't complain, and they didn't tell any of our ambassadors.
President Trump insists he never pressured Ukraine, and there was never a quid pro quo. Katherine Johnson, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And after this break, we'll have your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
Thinking you and me should get on up to Vegas all lickety split like.
We promised Mama we'd take her to the Grand Canyon.
The plan's been altered. Look, an opportunity's presented itself, and it benefits us both.
Hey, Red. What time is it? How about that, Mama? I'm taking you to the Grand Canyon. Are you two mechanics?
Saturday night at 8 on WNMU TV.
And welcome back to Public Eye News. My name is Ross, and I'll be taking you through your weather today. Looking behind me at the Academic Mall, it's looking a bit cloudy out there, and unfortunately it's a bit cold, but that's going to be warming up over the next few days. Looking at our current conditions, it's currently cloudy, temperature of 42 degrees, winds west-northwest at 12 miles per hour, and a barometric pressure of 30.20 and rising. Going on later tonight, it's going to be partially cloudy, with a low of 32 degrees, winds west at 6 miles per hour. And going on to tomorrow, it's going to be mostly sunny with a high of 50 degrees and a winds west-southwest at 15 miles per hour. Looking at our UP here today, it's looking a bit cloudy all around the UP. So we're going to start all the way over here at Sault Ste. Marie at 44, going down to Minnesota at 46, Escanaba at 44, and down in Menominee at 45. Going to our other half of the UP here, we're going to start at Iron Mountain with 41, Ironwood at 37, all the way up at Houghton with 42, and back here in Marquette, it's 42 and cloudy. Let's look at our week ahead. On Saturday, it's going to be a high of 54, low of 38 and sunny. On Sunday, it's going to be a high of 49, low of 34 and mostly cloudy. And on Monday, it's going to be a high of 41, low of 30 and partially cloudy. Well, Kayla, was looking a bit cold out there today, but I heard that's not stopping our basketball team.
Oh, absolutely not, Ross. Thank you very much. The court is heating up for the preseason for the NMU Michigan, or the Northern Michigan Wildcats basketball teams. One NMU senior is really showing off his skills in the preseason as Chicago native Miles Howard is named to the All-GLIAC preseason team. Howard has attained a career-high 7 blocks against Saginaw Valley and Davenport and notched 6 more at Michigan Tech, was a part of the GLIAC's all-defense team for the second time in a row last season as he led the GLIAC with roughly 3 blocks per game. Howard has led the team with 7 rebounds a game, and he has 78 blocks last season and a career 173 blocks. The preseason is coming to an end with the first game of the regular season for the Cats is coming Saturday, November 9th at McKendree University. And as we enter Week 8 of the NFL regular season, tonight is a matchup between the Washington Redskins, who are having a rough time, and the Minnesota Vikings, who have 2 losses under their belt for the season. The Redskins, who have only won a single game this year against Miami Dolphins 2 Sundays ago by 1 point, are looking to change things around to change their luck. Firing their head coach Jay Gruden earlier this month, the Redskins are looking for someone to take over. Most likely to take up the helm is Redskins' own offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell, who was a third-round pick by the Patriots in 2008 and made his way to the Redskins after several years backing Tom Brady. The matchup for tonight's game between Purple and Red is set for 8:20 p.m. And the 2019 World Series is underway and may be over as soon as it started. Starting Tuesday, the championship of the Major League Baseball is a 7-game series, but it may appear to be over by 4 games this year as the Houston Astros took on the Washington Nationals. The inaugural game Tuesday was a tense game as the Nationals won by only a single run at the end, having a score of 5-4. Last night's game was not nearly as close as the Astros really had a rough night. The Nationals were flying high last night as they took their second win in a row with an astounding 12-3 win against the Astros. A tough defeat for the Astros that can really hurt the team morale as they face the Nationals again tomorrow. And if they can't pull themselves together, they will give up a whole season of hard work for nothing to show for it. Well, that's all the time we have for you today at Public Eye News. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Fun times.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.